All right, Nicole, thank you for being here. I'm super excited to chat with you and just have you share a little bit about your journey of building your business. I think it's really helpful for everyone to get a little bit of a behind the scenes look of what people's journeys are like when they go through the process of building a business because there's a lot that goes into it and everyone's experience is a little different. So, if you would like to start just by giving us a tiny little introduction of who you are and what you do with your business, that would be amazing.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me, Kristen.
Ah,
You have been such a great mentor and coach in helping me launch my business. So I'm super excited to chat with you and to share a little bit about myself. So, my name is Nicole Dalton. I have been a physician assistant now for over 20 years. And I started working with you, Kristen. It's been almost 2 years ago now.
oh my
Um,
gosh, I didn't even realize it's been that long.
I know. It's right about 2 years that we started working together.
Okay.
And you have helped me set up my coaching business and start coaching and running my own business. And now I'm actively working on growing my business as well. So what I do, you've helped me explore my niche and really pinpoint who I was designed and really was ready to help coach. And so I have a coaching business that I help specifically for women 35 and over, and I help them lose weight.
Okay.
And we really work on, I have a 16-week coaching program that I started off working with women one on one those first few months that I launched my business.
Yeah.
And pretty quickly, after just a few months, I was able to go more into the group coaching, which
Yeah.
has been awesome to be able to do because women are even getting better results too, having that group and community and support of other women on top of working with them one on one. So, yeah, it's been wonderful. I struggled myself with some weight gain issues through perimenopause, and I didn't understand truly what was happening during that phase of my life. I've always been active, I was a college athlete, and I've always dabbled into the running and triathlon world. So I've always enjoyed exercise and eating mostly a clean diet. But
Yeah.
then in my mid 40s, I gained 25 pounds, enough that I was the same weight as I was during my three pregnancies.
Mm,
And I had helped women in the clinic for years and years
yeah.
that would come to me in perimenopause and tell me, hey, Nicole, I am gaining weight, even though I'm exercising more and eating healthy, and I'm just not losing this weight. And so we'd used to tell these women to just exercise more and eat healthier, right? Or even eat less. And then until I went through perimenopause myself and I started noticing these changes in myself. That's when I was really digging through all the research and found that women are finally getting studied. And the research now, especially when it comes to perimenopause and menopause, I feel like we've finally gotten the spotlight in this phase in our life.
Yeah.
And so, after a couple of years of digging into the research there to figure out how to exercise correctly during this phase in my life and how to eat and really focus on making some simple tweaks to my eating plan and my nutrition part,
Yeah.
that I was able to lose the weight for myself. And I felt that, holy cow, I need to share this with as many women as I know because this has been so helpful in my journey. And I thought that I would be able to do that in the clinic setting, seeing patients, but I quickly learned within, 10-minute office visits a couple times a year that I was not making the impact that I truly wanted to with women. And that's when I started coaching and working with you and building my business and creating this entrepreneurship that has been an exciting journey.
Yeah, I love all that. And when you're own journey fits into what you end up helping people with, like it's really powerful because you can come from that place of been there. I get it. Like, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to talk a little bit about um, marketing because you mentioned, that you built your business pretty quickly and I know everyone's marketing journey and what they end up doing is pretty different. So can you share a little bit about how you got started with marketing and maybe how things have changed and how you're currently finding like marketing is working for you?
Yeah, that has been a big learning curve, right? Because I've never learned anything about marketing. So these last couple of years definitely have been the journey through marketing and trying to figure out what works best. But I
Yeah.
feel like your guidance initially with just tapping into our warm market. So I did a lot initially with just simply sharing on social media. I use mostly Facebook, and then emailing
Yeah.
everyone I knew to just share with everyone that I knew that I was starting a business and this is who I am helping.
Yeah.
And just with tapping into the warm market, I feel like there was just so much interest and such a gap in so many women's knowledge of how to do this for themselves that I feel like the organic marketing of my warm market really launched. And so just simply getting my voice out there and getting out there in front of people I knew and being willing to share that information, right? I'm pretty introverted. So, like, talking about myself in front of everyone was a little bit out of my comfort zone for sure. But once I started doing that and realized that I could reach so many women that could use my help, that was the exciting piece. So just reaching out to my warm market. And then after I did that, then I started my YouTube channel
Okay.
again with your guidance. So I have a
Yep.
YouTube channel now for about a year, and that really has helped me grow my cold market. So I feel like once I started the YouTube channel, about 6 months into it, I feel like I started getting I was in front of a lot more women, and really not just in the US. I've been able to reach women in Europe and Nigeria. I mean, just all over the world, Australia, New Zealand, right? Like I've had this ability to be able to connect and help other women across the whole world. So YouTube has been a huge launching platform to reach a cold audience.
Awesome.
Um, and I've not tapped into any paid marketing yet at this point. And I
Okay.
feel like I'm really starting to get a good feel of my business. And
Yeah.
really, my big platforms are YouTube, Facebook a little bit, and then weekly emails that include my weekly videos.
Awesome. I love that.
And
I didn't
then,
I didn't even know
yeah,
you were using YouTube that much. So I'm gonna have to go and check out all your channel and we'll have you
yeah,
share it too so that people can find you. But that's awesome because YouTube has been huge in growing my business too. So it can be a really amazing platform.
yeah. And I feel like it was kind of a slow start. I remember seeing like 20 views and I was excited. Look at 20 people have viewed. And then now I've had a couple that have had a couple thousand views just
Awesome.
within 6 months. And I'm still learning a lot about YouTube and the marketing piece that goes around it.
Yeah.
But that has been fun to watch that grow. And a couple other things that I've done that I have been getting more excited about is getting up in front of a group. Public speaking has not been my thing, but I
Yeah.
tell you, I feel like I had the opportunity to do a speech or presentation in front of a very large international group of business women. And then I've reached out to a lot of my local gyms and have connected a lot more with businesses in my area too, just locally. And I feel like I've been able to connect with a lot of women that way too.
I love that so much. And it's a lot of what I'm telling people right now is online marketing can still work, but if you can do stuff locally and get referrals and tap into your warm market, like that is key. I mean, because I always think, I'm like, if I think of like what would be the very best way to have grow a business, it would be through referrals, right? Because like then you're getting people who are happy with how you've helped them, and they're sending other people, and they already feel like they have that, trust with you, which I think is amazing. So, yeah, if you can get into your local market, I think that's amazing. And I will say, I always use you as an example with people as far as how powerful your warm market can be. I mean, obviously, we all have different, I would say, like sizes of our warm market. But I remember we worked on, you also mentioned like sharing your story and talking about yourself. Like we worked on that first introductory post. And when you posted that, I think you got something like 25 plus people who were interested in doing a consult with you from like one post, which was like amazing. I was so excited.
Yeah, it is. And I feel like the more you get vulnerable and step out of your comfort zone, and the more you share your journey, and the more I feel like the more you tap into your own vulnerability, which has been a huge learning curve, and I'm still uncomfortable doing that to a point,
Yeah.
but I'm still like learning and growing that piece. But yeah, that organic, just yeah, that local piece is huge because there's so many people in your local community that know of somebody that knows you that you can absolutely help, and that is huge with those first clients and
Yeah.
even just consistent clients down the road too, because that consistent marketing piece, women that have been following me for now a year will say, okay, wasn't quite ready a year ago, but now
Yeah.
I'm ready. So just showing up consistently through a couple of these channels, I feel like is huge.
Yeah. Yeah. Love that. Yeah. Thank you for sharing all that. Um, So another question I have is,
Yeah.
is there anything you found like most challenging, or you feel like biggest lessons you've learned through the process?
Yes, there has been so much growth personally
Yeah.
with stepping into starting a business. Um, it's been mind blowing, all the changes and the challenges too that come with that piece um, that you just take in stride, right? I feel like owning your own business and entrepreneurship is very much of a roller coaster, especially these first couple years, because I'm married and I have three children. And so I'm the breadwinner and also the insurance holder, right, for the family. So trying
Mm.
to balance, okay, I really want to help women with their weight loss and creating the healthiest version of themselves without letting that back piece of, okay, so these are my income guidelines or goals that I want to hit every month
Yeah.
without trying to be just to be able to support the family, right? But trying to balance that and really focus on this is why I'm coaching is to help other women and to try to balance out that back part of your mind that sometimes creeps in and says, okay, well, you can make a little bit more money or be more salesy, right? Like trying to balance the part where you're not salesy, like sales marketing. This is all like, that's the part, right? I just want to help women. And
Yep.
that sales and marketing piece has been a work in progress for sure. But how to balance that where I don't want to feel salesy. I don't want women to feel that I'm being salesy to them to help coach them. And so, kind of balancing that piece has been a little bit of an up and down roller coaster, and trying to take a step back to also look at my actions and behavior around that piece has been a learning journey for me. Um, and then also, I feel like just the roller coaster of emotions that go with it. You'll have, I think, with business, especially when you first get started, you'll have a few months that okay, yeah, I feel like I'm racking, I'm getting a lot of interest, and I get a chance to talk with a lot of women, and then sign as clients, which is even more exciting. But then you'll have some months that I feel like there's crickets, right? Like I'm just not getting that influx. And whether it's the holidays, maybe, right? Or summer. So there's definitely different times throughout the year that I've noticed the fluctuations in signing new clients and being able to start with them. So there's a lot of mind games that go with that, right? Like, oh my gosh, can I actually do this? Am I going to fail? Can I actually make this work as a piece of my income? Like, is this going to be able to be something I can grow? But so working through a lot of the mind piece work is something that you've helped me so much with through your coaching program and working together with you. There's so much with that piece, just the mindset of that. So I feel like those have been struggles. I think initially that first year, the time management piece, because I just wanted to work on my business all the time, right? But
Yeah.
oh, by the way, I have a family and I am also working in the clinic still part time and
Yeah.
trying to juggle all that without feeling like I was neglecting everyone in my life. So that was a little balance. But now I feel like I've gotten into a really good groove,
Awesome.
and feel like I can know how many hours a week I want to work on my business and how I want to make that work in my schedule and my family's schedule. So that has been a big part of a little bit of the struggle, but figuring that piece out too.
Yeah, yeah, those are all huge and things I think most people kind of try to find, yeah, their way of doing things with all of those. And yeah, I love that you're mentioning about like the salesy because I feel like this is something that I've been thinking about so much as far as how I work with other people and help them in building their business when of course, making money is amazing. We want to make money in our businesses, but when you make that the number one top priority over everything else, I feel like integrity goes out the door. And that's where we end up kind of getting ourselves in trouble where it maybe doesn't feel good, or we're signing clients who maybe it's not in their best interest to actually work with us because they're not in the right spot or not financially in the right spot or whatever it is. So I thank you for sharing that. I think that's a really big one. Um, yeah, it's just something that I think is super important. So, um,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
yeah. Would you also share just like a little bit about maybe like since you started your business, has your life changed at all? Have you noticed, any changes in anyone around you or your family or anything like that? And either way, if not, like totally cool, but I'd be curious, like sometimes people do notice things. So,
Yeah. So, which I think this is a great question. And I'm really thinking on this part of it. So I feel like, if I look back over the last 2 years and I kind of start with kind of pulling away like the camera lens, like looking on the outer part of me, the outer part of my family, right? Like I don't think anything big has changed. We still live in the same home. We still drive the same cars. We still do our normal stuff with family and work and school. But I feel like when we really start to look inward, um, I feel like inward and me, myself, my family, my extended family, my friends have seen a huge difference because what comes with business is really looking inside yourself. And the more you can create the healthiest, or not necessarily the healthiest, but yes, the healthiest version mentally and physically for yourself, I feel like that energy absolutely drives your business. And I've really been able to see that over the last couple of years. So when you work on yourself, whether it's with your marriage or as a mom or as showing up as a friend or a daughter, whatever that is, like how can you create that best version of yourself and show up excellent in every like wherever you're at. I feel like that has been my biggest focus. And so when you look inside, like when you look inside our house at myself and my family, I feel like there is more happiness, more joy. I feel like our love is stronger. And I know that sounds silly. Like, how can all that happen with just starting a business? But there's so much more to just starting a business personally that goes into that I never even expected, never realized
yeah.
that being able to say that now, like we weren't unhappy or we weren't not loving, but to be able to see that grow and be so excited about our future and then being able to share this and help other women, I feel like also with coaching, there's so much more, right? I help women lose weight, but and that's obviously the first priority. That's why they're hiring me to help coach them. But being able to help them just see down the road and have hope and design their life the way they want to, has been just so powerful. There's so much more exciting, powerful, good things that have happened, then that totally outweighs all the struggles and ups and downs of the business side. So, yes, thank you for that, because you've been a huge instigator of all of that in my life. So, thank you.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I love that it's rippling around you. And I think, yeah, just like you were saying, women who come to work with you, like they're walking in the doorway of weight loss. Like that's why they're coming to you, right? But as far as the work that you do with them, it probably transforms their whole life and the people around them because if
Yes,
we act a certain way, like it does ripple out to the other people that we interact with. And kind of the same thing like business is a doorway to walk through that kind of pushes you to look at different areas of your life or different habits that may not be serving you or thought patterns and ways of being. So kind of the same thing where it's this opportunity to really kind of transform yourself and I think the people around you too. So both very cool.
absolutely.
Yeah. Any last like pieces of advice you'd have for anyone who's either like, because I talked to quite a few people like you who are health practitioners who are maybe like, oh, I'd really love to start a business because I want to be able to practice a bit differently maybe than I do in the medical system, or someone who's maybe started their business and they're feeling kind of stuck or, disappointed or whatever it is. Do you have any words of wisdom or advice that you'd want to share with anyone?
Yeah, absolutely go for it. It will change your life for the better. Um, there's only one life that we get to live. And I was so burnt out and feeling stuck and feeling like, oh my gosh, how am I going to work in healthcare for the next 15 years? Right. Like, and just kind of feeling hopeless about the future in healthcare and the changing healthcare system, right? All of that.
Yeah.
But coaching absolutely gives you that opportunity to do what you have in you, what your passion has been, right? We've all gotten into healthcare for a reason.
Yeah.
And if you're feeling stuck or burnt out and like this is not why you got into healthcare, coaching gives you that opportunity to get back to what you're wanting to do and in helping and serving other people in your life. So there's definitely some logistics to work out, and legally you want to make sure you're not crossing boundaries and doing it correctly, but you absolutely should take that step. It's so worth it. And I feel like coaching has opened up this whole new world to me. I've
Mm,
never, like, it's from coming from strictly healthcare, you
yeah.
have one world there. And then when you step into coaching, it's like a whole new world. It just explodes in front of you about all the opportunities in your business and just in life too. It's been life changing, absolutely. So
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it. Don't hesitate. Just jump right in. And even if you're feeling scared and have all that doubt behind you, just jump in and do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I I agree. And I think, like you said, you have one life to live. What do you have to lose? I mean, you could always try it and decide, like, oh, maybe this isn't what I want to be doing. But I think the things we regret are the things we don't try, right? So you never know what's possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree about like until I got into coaching as well, I had never really been introduced to like, personal development work, let's call it
Yeah.
that way. Like, but there's so much there and you can take the things that resonate and leave the things that don't. But I think it's really empowering. So yeah, I agree on all that. Um, Yes, thank you for sharing all of that, Nicole. I really appreciate it. And I would love for you to just share where people can find you, where they can find out more about you, where can they follow along and see what you're up to? What are the main places where you're hanging out?
Yeah, so I do have a Facebook group. It's called Weight Loss for Midlife Women. So you can find me there. And then I also have my YouTube channel, which is Nicole Dalton Health Coaching,
I'll
for
share
my
the
YouTube
links too.
channel.
So,
Yeah, yeah. And then you can always shoot me an email, and I see pa11@yahoo.com.
okay.
But yeah, find me over on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm more than happy to help you if you have any questions about working with Kristen or what that looks like. I'd be more than happy to chat further too.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. I'll share all the links so people can find you. And thank you very, very much, Nicole. I think everyone, actually, I know everyone is going to find that very inspiring and helpful. And yeah, it's just really nice to hear your experiences and journey.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, we'll cut it there. Thank you so much, Nicole. Awesome. Like I'm excited to share this, like really excited to share all these. So um let me just stop the recording quick and then